Diego Rivera was a Mexican contemporary artist, mostly known for his murals. He is also known for his painting with calla lilies, like Flower Seller, 1942, Nude with Calla Lilies, and The Flower Carrier. He was born in Guanajuato, Mexico, on December 8th of 1886. Rivera had a twin brother, Carlos, who died before the age of 2. His mother and father were Senor Diego and Senora Maria Rivera. Diego Rivera wasn't his true name. His true name was Diego Maria de la Concepcion Juan Nepomuceno Estalancio de la Rivera y Barrientos Acosta y Rodriguez. To distinguish himself from his father, he signed his famous artworks Diego Maria Rivera. In the book Diego Rivera, Mexican Muralist by Jim Hartgrove, Rivera explains how in his autobiography called My Art, My Life, that, quote, at the age of 2 years old, according to photographs and tales of my father and mother, I was thin and had rickets. My health was so poor that the doctors advised that I be sent to the country to live a healthier outdoor life, lest I die like my brother, end quote. At this time, he moved to the mountains of the Sierras with his Indian nurse and lived with her for about 2 years. It first became apparent that Rivera was a talented child when at the age of 3, he was drawing detailed trains with a steam engine and a caboose. This drawing is still on display at a museum in Mexico. In 1896, he began classes at Mexico City's San Carlos Academy of Fine Arts. Rivera's pencil drawing, Head of a Woman, was completed in 1898, before he was even a teenager. His pencil drawing led to oil on canvas artworks. Rivera had many oil paintings and drawings of a mother and a child. A mother figure appears in many of his works of art due to the lack of his mother's nurturing. Senora Maria Rivera wasn't very present during her son's career. When he was sick and taken by Antonia, his Indian nurse, she cared for him dearly. He explains in Hartgrove's book, quote, I have since loved her more than my own mother, end quote. She had made such a great impact on his life from the few years that he lived with her. The mother is pictured in this artwork sitting on the floor with what looks like to be a pillow or a sack filled with rice and beans on her head. She is holding a baby in her arms. The baby is hidden in the mother's wrap that she has around her body. It looks like the mother is protecting the baby and keeping the baby hidden and close to her body. The mother's eyes appear to be closed, like she is thinking and being thankful for what she has. There's also a basket with a bag in it next to her, possibly with more food in it. Rivera may be representing a mother who has the ability to provide for her child. This portrait is called Mother and Child. It was done in 1927. The connection between a mother and a child is important. The next painting is called Friday of Sorrows on the Canal of Santa Anita. This oil painting was started in 1923 and finished in 1924. The painting is in the Court of Fiestas, Ministry of Education in Mexico City. In the book Diego Rivera by Pete Hamill, it states that when Rivera first started this project, he had vague intentions of what he was going to paint. But as months went on, he began to envision the work coming together as a whole. Further reading into this painting, he was driven by his deepening commitment to the communist faith and his thoughts on the Mexican Revolution. Rivera began to realize that he was not only completing the artwork, but he was completing himself. This painting shows a funeral procession on the canal. The people in the background on the left side appear to have their heads bowed, showing their respect. In the foreground of the painting, we see 3 pigtailed young Indian women with their back towards the audience. Rivera depicts Indian women in many of his paintings. He was proudly honoring Antonita, his nurse, by including her general likeness in his works of art. On the left side of the painting, we see a bunch of Rivera's famous calla lilies called alcatraz. These specific flowers became a trademark of Rivera. The children in the painting were how Rivera wished the children looked like in his time. He paints them in a more favorable appearance. They look healthy and well nourished, but in reality, during that time, many children died of hunger and disease. Mexico was not a wealthy country, and many of its people suffered. Rivera lived most of his life in poverty until he became successful for his works of art. His art was influenced by events that happened in his life. This can be seen in Mother and Child with the lack of love and nurturing from his own mother. In the artwork Friday of Sorrows on the Canal of Santa Anita, we see death, which he had to live through with his brother and his parents. We also see the children represented as healthy versus undernourished. The Indian figure serves as his beloved caregiver. All in all, Diego Rivera was a well-known Mexican contemporary artist.